Good afternoon from Joliet, Illinois, and the Sullivan Center here on the campus of the University of St. Francis. It's the Fighting Saints and the Tigers of Dakota Wesleyan University in Game 1 of 2 here on Day 2 of the USF Classic. Welcome to the broadcast. Terry Bonadonna here with you for the next couple of hours as the Saints and the Tigers try to make it 2 in a row as each team came out victorious in yesterday's opener. Lewis Holy against Samuel McLeod on the opening tip. It's won by McLeod, and Dakota Wesleyan takes the first possession of the game. Tigers are in black. They're going from left to right for the first half. The Saints in white going from right to left. Get you the starters as we go here. It's Nick Harden, the Chicago native, in possession of the basketball for the Tigers. Harden is in the backcourt along with Tyson Smiley and Ty Hoagland. Deep three-point attempt from McLeod. It comes up short, rebounded by the Saints' Cole Misick. Samuel McLeod is joined by Colin Kramer in the front court for Dakota Wesleyan. For St. Francis, it's Cole Misick, Malik Bailey, and Eric Ting. In the backcourt, the forwards are Lewis Holy and Mitch Quasigro. Just underway here, first possession of the contest for the Fighting Saints. Mitch Quasigro in possession as 20 seconds are gone off the shot clock. Ting tries to bounce it inside for Lewis Holy. It's kicked by McLeod, and the Saints will hang on to it. They'll get 12 extra seconds back on the shot clock, so it's at 20. 46 seconds into the action. Tigers came up empty on their first possession. The Saints trying to score the first time they touched the ball. They've not yet gotten a shot off on this possession. Nearly 30 seconds into it as Ting drives, left side layup, high off the glass, misses, rebound McLeod. Here come the Tigers. This is Nick Harden leading the break. He bounces it to Hoagland on his left. Top of the key three-pointer for Colin Kramer. A little too strong. Rebounded by Holy. Tigers are 0 for 2 on three-pointers in the first minute plus of today's action. Lewis Holy holds it up top for the Fighting Saints. He hands it to Ting. Ting around the screen, pull up from the right elbow, jumper falls. It's 2-0 St. Francis. Eric Ting strikes first in this ball game. In yesterday's 93-75 victory over East West, Ting had a good game, 12 points, 4 assists, and 4 steals. He's got the first 2 points in this afternoon's action as Hoagland drives from the left wing, floats it up and in. Ty Hoagland, the nation's third leading scorer this season, picks up his first 2 points of the game and the first 2 for Dakota Wesleyan. We're tied early on. Here's Mitch Quasigro for St. Francis. Bounce down low for Holy in the post, backing it against McLeod, stripped and taken away by Dakota. I believe that was actually Colin Kramer rather than McLeod. Kramer came in and took the ball away as McLeod was posting him up. And now Dakota Wesleyan has a chance to take their first lead of the afternoon. They do just that. Tyson Smiley drives from the left side and banks it in, 4-2. Dakota on top, their first lead so far. We're very early. 17:40 to play in the first half. Cole Misick, a good shooter, picked up quickly by Hoagland and McLeod. Out to Quasigro. He tries the outside shot. Misses off the rim, rebounded by the Tigers. Hoagland, left side, 3-ball, got it. 5 points for Ty Hoagland, and a quick timeout called by St. Francis. Ty Hoagland, 6'3" tall senior guard, entered today's game averaging better than 26 points per contest. And he scored 23 in yesterday's victory, a very close victory over Lincoln College, a real thriller here at night. 8 o'clock last night, game 2 of the doubleheader. After St. Francis and East West battled in the opener. East West kept it close for about 30 minutes, but over the final 10, Fighting Saints ran away to an 18-point victory. It was the opposite between Dakota Wesleyan and Lincoln. The Tigers had a big lead early, and then the Lynx of Lincoln College came storming back. They took a late lead, and ultimately Dakota Wesleyan was just able to hold them off. They were victorious 78-74, picking up their 7th consecutive victory to open up the season. We're back underway out of the timeout. St. Francis is in possession, and we've got a quick whistle. The shot clock was not running. So there's a stoppage in the action right now so they can get the clock adjusted. A few seconds should run off of it. The game clock was running. Shot clock was stationary at 30 seconds. So they'll get that situation taken care of as the Saints look to inbound from the sideline when we're ready to resume action. Everything seems to be worked out. Shot clock down to 26. Game clock is at 17 minutes, 15 seconds. Good enough, I guess. Here's Mitch Quasigro. Over to Eric Ting on the left. Ting looking around, trying to find Quasigro inside, but before he can get him to the ball, we've got a foul called. Foul called on Mitch Quasigro, trying to create some space for himself to receive a pass. It's the first foul on the Saints. First foul on either team so far in today's game. Dakota Wesleyan has a 5-point lead, and the Saints come up empty out of their timeout. A little light pressure from Eric Ting. Tigers get it across half court. Harden to McLeod, back to Harden on the right wing. Harden drives into a double team, bounces it out to Smiley. 10 on the shot clock. Up top, Samuel McLeod. Deep three, it's good. Tigers missed on their first 2 attempts from the outside today. Since then, they have heated up. They're 4 for their last 4 from the field. And they've got an 8-point lead as they've gone on a 10-0 run following the Saints' first bucket of the game. A foul away from the ball. I think there was a grab on Cole Misick as he tried to free himself up towards the top of the key. So the foul is going to go against number 23, Samuel McLeod. McLeod was guarding Holy, but I think the grab may have come on the guy, again, Misick coming around that screen. Or maybe I missaw it. Either way, it's a foul on McLeod, the first of the game on Dakota Wesleyan. 16.5 minutes to go in the first half. Great start for the Tigers. They lead by 8. Lewis Holy lobs it into Mitch Quasigro, lays it in. Beautiful setup by Holy. Quasigro gets the 2 points on the layup, his first 2 of the afternoon. And that snaps a 10-0 run for Dakota Wesleyan. 10-4, Harden pull-up jumper, off the mark, rebounded by Holy. Here comes Eric Ting. Ting shovels it back out to Holy. McLeod giving him a little space up top as Holy starts to dribble to the left side. He hands it to Malik Bailey. Bailey had one of his best games of the season yesterday, 14 points. Hasn't gotten a shot off yet today, but he's got the ball back at the free throw line. Fadeaway jump shot, off the back iron, no. Rebounded by Smiley. 4.5 minutes gone, 6-point lead for Wesleyan with the ball. It's Hoagland. 5 points for him so far, and now an assist as he fires it inside to a cutting Smiley. Good cut, good feed, and a good finish. 12-4, Dakota Wesleyan. Misick at the top, bounces to the left elbow. This is Mitch Quasigro, guarded by Colin Kramer. He hands it off to Misick. Misick backs up, gets the screen, dribbles into the left corner. Now he's in some trouble, so he passes outside to Quasigro. Drive from the left wing, kicked out Bailey. Open 3, Malik Bailey hits it. First 3 of the game for Malik Bailey. That pulls the Fighting Saints back within 5. So they've weathered the early storm after Wesleyan went on that 10-0 run. Saints have gotten themselves back into it. Now a 3-pointer from Hoagland, and he drains it. 8 points already for Ty Hoagland. And he has got a smooth stroke from the outside. That's his second 3-pointer. 15-7, Wesleyan has the lead. Misick tries to respond. He doesn't. Misses on the 3. Rebounded by McLeod. Hoagland up top to Kramer. Kramer tried to get Hoagland back on the cut. It was well covered. Smiley over to Kramer on the left side. Swung around to the right. It's Nick Harden. Harden, graduate of Rich East High School, stuck in the corner, dribbles around Ting, flips it back outside Kramer. Kramer tries the 3 and hits. Everything's falling from the outside right now for Dakota Wesleyan, who entered play today as a 35% 3-point shooting team. They've got their biggest lead of 11 now, 18-7, under 14 minutes to play in the half. Mitch Quasigro left alone on the outside. He tries the 3, in and out. Rebounded by the Tigers. Smiley slows it down as he walks it across half court and bounces over to the point guard, Nick Harden. Harden sets up the attack. He hands it off, gets it right back from McLeod inside, offensive foul. Harden called for pushing off as he got close to the hoop. Second foul on Dakota Wesleyan, and that's a break for St. Francis as they're able to stop the momentum for the time being, at least, of Dakota Wesleyan. Bring in a few subs that were sitting by the scorer's table ready to go. Agard is in with Jordan Thornton and Carlos Tobias, one of the stars of last night's game. The only two Saints who remain in are Malik Bailey and Mitch Quasigro. 3 out of the 5 have been changed out. Starting 5 still in for Matt Wilbur's Dakota Wesleyan team. Up top, Jordan Thornton for 3, shorts. Long rebound goes to Nick Harden. Hoglin's got 8 points already, crosses over on Agard, gets to the hoop and lays it in. Beautiful drive by Ty Hoglund, and Dakota Wesleyan extends their lead. 10 points already for Hoglund. He has outscored St. Francis all by himself. 20-7 is the score. And after it seemed like St. Francis had started to put a dent into the Dakota Wesleyan lead, the Tigers got hot again. They have been shooting lights out to start this contest today. Dakota Wesleyan ranked number 7 in the preseason poll, up to 6 after their 6-0 start. Yesterday's win made them 7-0 on the season. Fighting Saints are 4-2 so far this year, including a win last night against East-West University. Saints began the season in the top 25 as well. They were ranked number 19, but after a couple of very close losses, 2-point game against Calumet St. Joseph back on November 13th and an overtime defeat against St. Ambrose last week, they have fallen out of the top 25. A marquee win like this today would go a long way to putting them back in the nation's spotlight. 13-point deficit early on, though. Just under 13 minutes to play. Jordan Thornton drives from the right, off the glass and in. Nice runner by Jordan Thornton. The Saints' leading scorer off the bench at 13.5 points per game. He's got that number in just over 20 minutes played per contest. 11-point deficit for St. Francis, and now they need to stop. Here's Colin Kramer. Kramer flips it to the left side on a drive, banking it in. That was Tristan Techmeyer. First shot attempt of the game for Techmeyer. He just came in off the bench. Matt Wilbur's bench is short. Dakota Wesleyan tends to use their starters throughout the majority of most of their games. So Techmeyer is the first man we've seen in relief for the Tigers today as the shot clock runs down to 6 for St. Francis. Tobias fakes to the left, drives to the right, reverse layup, he's fouled. Good drive by Carlos Tobias, couldn't get the finish, but he'll have a chance from the free throw line. 11:58 to play in the first half. 22-9 Dakota Wesleyan, and the foul is on Tristan Techmeyer. Carlos Tobias scored 19 points in yesterday's game. He came in averaging 2 a game. He makes the first free throw. Those 19 points last night surpassed his season high by 11. It's the first time he hit double figures this year. Reliable so far from the free throw line. He hasn't missed in limited opportunities this year. He's now 6 for 6 as he makes them both here. First 2 points of the game for Tobias. And the Saints are within 11. 22-11, Dakota Wesleyan doubling up St. Francis as Harden walks it across the timeline. 2 seconds to spare in the backcourt. Harden takes his time before passing to the free throw line. Techmeyer kicks it out. This is Hoglund. Hoglund backs up from the left wing. Harden around the screen, steps to the left, bounces to Techmeyer, draws the contact and hits the shot. No foul called as Quasigro was able to give him enough space but couldn't prevent the shot from going down. Techmeyer just came in off the bench and he's got a quick 4. Lead back to 13. Mitch Quasigro hands it off to Arnold Agard, coming around from the left side. To Tobias, guarded by Mason Larson. Another reserve just into the game for the Tigers. 8 on the shot clock. Tobias dribbles to the right side. Tobias crosses over into the lane. Puts it high off the backboard and in. For a moment it looked like Tobias may have been out of control on that drive, but he was able to maintain it enough to get the shot in. He's got 4 quick points off the bench. So Tobias, as he did last night, has provided a good spark for Ryan Marks. Saints still trail by 11, trying to stay within striking range here. Harden finds an open shooter. Smiley on the left side, misses the 3. Techmeyer gets the offensive rebound out to Hoglund. Another 3-point attempt for him. This misses short. Quasigro rebounds it. Thornton carries it the other way. Flips it out to Agard. Agard for 3. That's well short. Rebounded by Harden. Quick one and done for the Saints on that possession. We're near the 10-minute mark of the first half. So far, it's been all Dakota Wesleyan. Smiley wanted that ball inside. He was open for a moment. closed up, and by the time Smiley does finally touch it, he's guarded on the left wing. Drive, stripped by Thornton. Smiley gets it back out to Harden for three. It's good. All's well that ends well for Dakota Wesleyan. They missed a few chances on that possession, but ultimately they get the shot they want. An open three from a good shooter. 27-13 Tigers. Here's Malik Bailey handing it to Carlos Tobias. Tobias loses it for a second and throws it away. Smiley going the other way. Smiley is fouled by Thornton. That ball just slipped through the hands of Carlos Tobias. He was able to track it down before it went out of bounds, but then threw it away as he tried to save it. Turns to an easy break for Smiley. And now Tyson Smiley, the junior from Omaha, Nebraska, is at the foul line for two shots. First foul on Jordan Thornton, second on the Saints. 9:42 to play in the first half. Smiley misses on his first foul shot. Tyson Smiley this season just 67% from the line. Saints bring in a couple of subs. Joey Bugimi is in. Lewis Holy back on the floor as well. Holy, the only starter out there now, is Malik Bailey and Mitch Quadzigro each take a seat. 1 out of 2 from Smiley, 28-13. Biggest lead so far for Dakota Wesleyan, 15 points. More than doubling up the Saints so far. St. Francis needs a bucket here. It's Lewis Holy going one-on-one with McLeod and scoring on the hook shot. Lewis Holy has his first 2 points. Coming off of his worst game of the year yesterday. Saints didn't need him in a 18-point victory. Today, they're going to need him. He scores his first 2 more than halfway through the first half. Kramer poked out from behind by Holy, and the loose ball is picked up by Bugimi. It's a steal for St. Francis. Agard flips it inside to Lewis Holy, off of his hands and out of bounds. It's a turnover committed by St. Francis. Arnold Agard checks out. Eric Ting is back in. Smiley to Harden, back to Smiley, and they're across the timeline. Ting picks up Smiley across half court, picks up his dribble and gives it to Colin Kramer. Back to the left, Nick Harden drives from the left side, layup comes up short, rebound knocked out of bounds by St. Francis. Tobias and Holy both went up for it, and the two of them got in each other's way. There were no black shirts in the area, but Holy ended up knocking the ball out of bounds, and so it stays with Dakota Wesleyan. Inbounded to McLeod, who gets it up top to Kramer. Kramer passes to the right side, Tyson Smiley. Smiley drives, jump stop in the lane, kicks it back outside. Harden with 10 to shoot, fires up a 3 ball, no good. Rebound Holy. Handed to Tobias, who pushes it ahead to Eric Ting. Saints swing it around to the top of the key. Holy tries a 3-point attempt, and he misses. Lewis Holy has hit just 1 3-pointer this year. That was his 4th attempt. An open look. Couldn't get it to go. 13-point lead for Dakota Wesleyan with the ball. 8:10 to play. First half here in St. Francis. Game 1 of 2 today. Lincoln College takes on East West University at 4 o'clock, or whenever this game ends. 7 to shoot. Turnaround for Smiley. Off the backboard, misses. Rebounded by Holy. Ting carries it the other direction. Eric Ting drives down the center lane, bounces into the corner. Tobias for 3. It's good. Carlos Tobias has 7 points to lead the Saints off the bench here in the first half. And he's gotten St. Francis back within 10. So Dakota Wesleyan has been certainly the better team so far in the first half, but the Saints have gone on a couple of runs of their own to prevent the Tigers from pulling away to this stage. They've kept it relatively close as the shot clock runs down to 10 seconds for the Tigers. Harden guarded by Ting, fakes, tries to get around Ting, passes out to the left side. 3-point attempt misses. Rebound knocked into the hands of Jordan Thornton. Thornton takes it the other way, running into Colin Kramer, knocked out of bounds by Kramer, who missed the 3 on the last possession. He was quick to get back on defense and make up for it with a strong play on this end of the floor. 26 on the shot clock. Saints will inbound it from the baseline. Ty Hoagland got a brief rest. He's back in the game, playing with 10 points already. Cole Mysick is in for Jordan Thornton on St. Francis' side. Ting set to inbound, lobs it into Holy in the corner. Holy guarded by McLeod, dribbles the baseline and walks. Lewis Holy called for the travel. 7:08 on the clock. 10-point deficit for St. Francis. Dakota Wesleyan has possession. Hoagland against some light pressure from the Saints. Passes across to Hardin, and Hardin walks it to the right wing. 12 seconds off the shot clock so far. Now Dakota Wesleyan starts to make a move. Hardin dribbles down the lane, kicks it outside McLeod. McLeod passes to Hardin, right side, driving on Tobias, kicks back out to McLeod. 3-point attempt, off the mark, rebound Holy. Holy shakes off the defense before giving it to Eric Ting. Dakota Wesleyan's gone cold on offense. Eric Ting has missed the layup. Eric Ting, beautiful drive, got around 2 defenders, but misses at the rim. And now Dakota Wesleyan has a chance, but they blow it on a travel. Traveling called on Hardin. He thought he was fouled. He was set to go to the free throw line before he recognized that traveling had been the call. The officials for today's game include Andy Bull, Nitin Rao, and Jeffrey Rutledge. Traveling call is a turnover for Dakota Wesleyan. They remain cold on offense. St. Francis hasn't really been able to capitalize up to this point. They've cut a 15-point deficit down to 10, but they have not been all that hot on this end of the floor either. Until now, Eric Ting hits the 3. 5 points for Ting, and the Saints are within 7. This is as close as they've been since that 10-0 run for Dakota Wesleyan made the score 10-2. Hoagland starts a drive to the free throw line. He kicks it back out. This is Hoagland again on the left wing, guarded by Misek. Up top, McLeod. Now Kramer, one dribble, kicks out McLeod. Open shot from the outside, he hits it. McLeod missed an open 3 on the last possession. Doesn't let that chance go by twice. 37% three-point shooter on the season. McLeod's hit 2 of them today. 6 points for the senior forward. Now the Saints try to answer. Bugimi gets inside and is fouled. 31-21, Dakota Wesleyan is on top.
Number 12, Colin Kramer, his first, team's fourth.
Saints have 2 chances from the line here. 5:18 to play in the first half. Sophomore guard Joey Bugimi hits on the first free throw. 4 of 4 from the line this year. Saints as a team are shooting 76%. That number ranks 11th in the nation, 1 spot behind Dakota Wesleyan, also shooting at 76%. Second shot is good. 31-23. Free throws are doing a good job of helping St. Francis stay in the game. They've hit all 4 of their attempts in the first half this afternoon. Tyson Smiley passes to the right side. Back to Smiley. Hoagland. Haven't heard from him in a while. He picks up the assist here, though, as he finds Smiley inside, and he lays it in. 7 points for Tyson Smiley. Tigers are back up by 10. Here's Eric Ting on the right side for the Fighting Saints. Ting gets a screen to the left, dribbles down the lane, ball stripped, but he's fouled. It's only the 5th foul on Dakota Wesleyan with 4:42 to play in the half. So the Fighting Saints will not get the free throws here. They'll inbound it from the baseline as a substitute comes on for Dakota Wesleyan. Colin Kramer checks out. Hardin, after a very short rest, is back in. Malik Bailey for St. Francis returns to the floor. Carlos Tobias sits down with 7 points. A productive stint off the bench for Tobias. Ting gets it into the corner. Cole Misek for 3. That's off. Rebounded by McLeod. Dakota Wesleyan leads by 10. They can extend the lead here. Hoagland, double team, kicks it out to the open man McLeod, and McLeod does not hit this one. Rolled around the rim, fell out, just missed. On the other side, Ting misses badly, gets his own rebound and lays it in. Matt Wilbur furious on the sideline. No one put a body on Ting, who recognized immediately that his shot was off the mark. Raced inside, grabbed his own board and laid it in. He's got 7, even with Tobias for the team high. On the other end, a drive, a layup, and a foul. Ty Hoagland headed to the line. He's been tough to stop. 12 points for him in the first half. And a chance for number 13 right now. It's the 2nd foul on Mitch Quasigro. And now Hoagland, who's near automatic from the line, gets a chance to add to the 10-point lead and does. 11-point advantage for Dakota Wesleyan. A game-high 13 for Hoagland. Under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Bailey on the right side. Gets it up top to Misick. Misick at the midcourt circle. Passes to Ting on the left wing. Around the screen. Pulls up top of the key. At the free throw line. Gets in the air. Gives it up to Misick. Nice dish to Quasigro underneath. And Quasigro lays it in. He's got 4. So for a while, neither team could score. Now both teams are starting to get back into an offensive rhythm. And the Saints have kept it relatively close, down by just 9 points. Three-pointer for Hoagland. It's on the money. Hoagland's got 16. He was just given too much space there. We've not seen him miss anything today when he's had that much room to shoot. 43% on the season from beyond the arc. That's his 3rd today. Bagimi at the free throw line for St. Francis. Hands it off to Misick, coming around. Misick pulls up, top of the key jumper, misses. Rebound tipped out to Tyson Smiley. Dakota Wesleyan leads by 12, under 3 minutes to play in the first half. It's Hoagland, guarded loosely by Malik Bailey. He fires it down low, and this time it's intercepted. Joey Bagimi gets the steal. And here's Ting into the corner, Bailey. Back outside to Mitch Quasigro. It's Quasigro at the left elbow. He dribbles a couple of times, gives it up to Eric Ting. Ting around the screen, pull up from 2-point range. Perfect. 9 points for Eric Ting. And again, the Saints are able to come up with a response as Dakota Wesleyan tries to pull away. 15 points is the largest lead so far for Dakota Wesleyan. They've led at almost every stage as Hoagland drives, blocked by Bailey. Ball is loose towards the sideline, saved, but right to Hoagland. Up top, Harden for 3, it's good. That's the old rule that Eric Ting broke right there. Don't save the ball underneath your own basket. That's what he did. He got it right to Hoagland. And it set up essentially a 5-on-4 situation and an open 3-pointer as Dakota Wesleyan extends their lead. Quasigro down low, up with the right hand, misses. Harden gets the rebound. And now again, Dakota Wesleyan in position to pull away. Harden on the right wing, drives, bumped on the floor. Foul coming up on Cole Misick. That'll be his first. It's only the 4th on the team. Minute 38 to play. First half, Lewis Holy, Carlos Tavares are back in for the Saints. They join Misick, Bailey, and Ting on the floor. Inbounds pass to Harden, and he scores immediately from 5 feet out. 15-point lead. Dakota Wesleyan has gone on a 7-2 run here. Like that, 8-2, I should say. It's 8-2 to recapture their largest lead of the game. Nice drive from Ting. He bounces it out to Bailey, lays it in. Good penetration from Ting, and Bailey is the benefactor as he gets an easy layup, and now 5 points in the game. 3-pointer for Hoagland. This one misses short. Rebounded by Holy. Misick quickly on the other end to Ting. Open look from the outside. That misses. And it hits off the shot clock, out of bounds. So it's Dakota Wesleyan possession, leading by 13, under a minute to play in the first half. Dakota Wesleyan started slow. Matt Wilbur telling him to speed things up. Go 2 for 1 here. Hoagland drives on Misick, and he's fouled. Fouled on the floor. It's only the 5th team foul. Neither side has gotten into the bonus here in the first half. This will probably now be the last possession for Dakota Wesleyan this half as McLeod fires a 3, rims out, rebounded by Tobias. 3-pointer here could cut the deficit to 10. The Saints would love to get within 10 before halftime. They really want right now, though, is just get some points going into the break as Bailey lays it in, and now they want to stop as well. Bailey's got 7 points, 4 of them in the final minute of this first half. It's an 11-point game, and Dakota Wesleyan can hold for the final shot. Hoagland dribbles to the right. Hoagland pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound Holy with 3 seconds left. Eric Ting ahead to Mysick from just beyond half court. Doesn't count. Didn't go, won't count against his stats. Saints hung in there. They were down by as many as 15. They kept it within striking range for the second half as we go into the break. 44-33 is the score. Dakota Wesleyan has the lead, and I'm going to step aside for a little bit. 15 minutes from now, we'll have the start of the second half. But right now, I'll take my leave. 11-point lead for Dakota Wesleyan with 20 minutes of basketball still to play. St. Francis trying to make the comeback here in the USF Sports Network. Halftime is running out here in Joliet. Just about set to start half number 2. St. Francis and Dakota Wesleyan, the battle of the winners from yesterday's first round of the USF Classic. St. Francis took out East West University by a final score of 93-75. Dakota Wesleyan held off Lincoln College late. 74-70 was the final score after Dakota Wesleyan had led by as many as 15 in the first half. And if that sounds familiar, well, Tigers were up by 15 in the first half today as well. So the Saints will try to make a second half run just as the Lynx did yesterday. 44-33 is our score right now. Leading scorer Ty Hogland has 16 points for Dakota Wesleyan. Saints have been led by Eric Ting. Ting has got 9. Malik Bailey has chipped in 7, as has Carlos Tobias off the bench for Ryan Marks. And it is the Saints who start with possession as we begin the second half. They've switched sides. St. Francis going from left to right now, and Lewis Holy's in possession of the basketball. Holy hands it off to Mitch Quasigrove, playing with 2 fouls. His performance was limited slightly because of those fouls in the first half. Malik Bailey with 12 on the shot clock, bounces to Lewis Holy. Holy hands it to Ting. Ting tries the 3, in and out. Rebounded by Kramer. Saints got a good shot in their first possession of the second half, couldn't get it to go. It would have been a big one for Eric Ting. It would have cut the Tigers' lead to 8 points. Instead, it remains at 11 as they try to strike first in the second half and do. Samuel McLeod inside off the assist from Tyson Smiley. And the lead is back to 13 for Dakota Wesleyan. They've led pretty much the entire way. The only time St. Francis was on top was 2-0. Dakota Wesleyan followed that with an immediate 10-0 run and have led by at least 8 points since. There's a drive from Bailey. Bounce down low to Holy. Holy turns around up with the left hand off the glass. No tip misses from Bailey. Rebound is loose and picked up by Holy, but he drops it out of bounds. Was it deflected out? It was not. Dakota Wesleyan possession. St. Francis made one more run after that 10-0 run from Dakota Wesleyan. They cut it to 12-7 at one point. Since then, though, it's been pretty much all Tigers as the foul is committed outside by St. Francis. Saints have not allowed themselves to be put away. Every time it seems like Dakota Wesleyan is on track to run away and hide in this game, the Saints go on a little spurt and keep themselves alive. Foul was the 3rd on Mitch Quasigrove, so he immediately checks out after just 1 minute and 22 seconds here in the second half, replaced by Carlos Tobias, who played some strong minutes off the bench in the first half. Nick Harden holds the ball outside for Wesleyan. He dribbles to the right side and slides his foot. That's travel. Tried to put on the quick breaks, and that back foot just kind of slid out from under him. So an unforced turnover committed by Dakota Wesleyan. We'll see if the Saints can take advantage on this possession. Looking for their first score in the second half. They've come up empty on their first 2 tries. Tobias hands it off to Ting. Ting to the cutting Malik Bailey, and Bailey travels. Bailey kind of lost track of Samuel McLeod there. As he turned to face the basket, he was immediately stopped by the defender. He didn't seem like he was expecting to see him. And he took a step. So back-to-back traveling violations. 1 for each team. McLeod way outside. Misses the 3-pointer short. The rebound goes to Ting. Eric Ting puts on the Jets and slows down as Hogland gets back to cover him. And a drive from Ting. Inside, floats it up and in. Nice drive from Eric Ting. He's up to 11. 4th straight game in which he has scored double figures. In NAIA competition at least. Saints spent last weekend down in Texas, taking on a few Division I schools and exhibitions. Hogland on the right side, guarded by Bailey, up top to Colin Kramer. McLeod gives it to Smiley with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Ball finds its way into the hands of Ty Hogland. Hogland drives, steps back, kicks to the right. Kramer for 3, it's short. Long rebound goes to Eric Ting. Here's Ting on the move. Ting pulls up for a second, bumped by Hogland. So the foul called on Hogland, it's his first. And it's the team's first of the second half. 17-19 on the clock. St. Francis will get the inbounds play, 25 on the shot clock. So Saints will get a full possession here. Inbounded to Cole Misick. Misick tries the three, misses it short. Cole Misick's off to a cold start in today's game. He has not scored yet. A little bit more than a cold start, I guess, by this point. More than a half into the contest as the pass is deflected off the hands of Colin Kramer, taken away by the Saints. Lobbed ahead for Misick, and he's blocked from behind by McLeod. On the other end, the ball squirts through the hands of Kramer. He sticks with it, though, gets it out to Hoagland for three. No good. Offensive rebound, back up and in. That's Tyson Smiley. Two golden opportunities missed on that possession for Dakota Wesleyan, but they kept fighting, and on the third chance, they got it in for two. 13-point lead for the Tigers. Here's Eric Ting around the screen to the left side, picked up by McLeod. He backs up. Ting drives, pull up inside the paint, blocked by Harden. Loose ball secured by Colin Kramer. Ting's shot blocked by Dakota Wesleyan. And they can tie or take a new game-high lead if they score here. Smiley drives, lays it up and in, and he's fouled. 11 points for Tyson Smiley. He becomes the second Tiger in double figures. And Carlos Tobias is called for his first foul. It's the third on the team. Free throw is good. 16-point lead for the Tigers. They were up by 11 at the half. They've outscored St. Francis so far 7-2 in the second. Eric Ting walks it off to the right. Up top, Malik Bailey. Bailey bounces to Lewis Holy, knocked away from behind by McLeod, who's called for a foul. A little over-aggressive on defense. For McLeod, though, it is just the second foul. And it's only the second on the team as well. Jordan Thornton checks in for Cole Misick as Ryan Marks tries to find some hot shooting. Thornton and Misick, both guys who can be streaky, and Misick's been streaking in the wrong direction so far today. So Marks is hoping that it's an on day for Jordan Thornton, who scored 2 points in the first half. Thornton, 13.5 point per game scorer, bounces over to Lewis Holy. Holy hands it to Thornton. Thornton coming around to the right side, pull-up jumper, misses short, and a loose ball foul is called on Dakota Wesleyan. Sixth ranked Tigers coming in from South Dakota for the weekend, trying to finish off a 2-0 stay here in Joliet. Third foul called on Samuel McLeod. McLeod has 2 of them in the last minute or so. Here's Carlos Tobias bouncing to Lewis Holy. Holy guarded loosely by Techmeyer. Techmeyer came on for McLeod, who has those 3 fouls now. Ting fakes, now puts the ball on the floor, drives inside and draws a foul. Foul is called on Nick Harden. It's Harden's second foul. It's the 4th on the team. So we've seen a much more physical second half so far. First half saw just 10 total fouls. Neither team ended up in the bonus. Doesn't look like we're headed for a repeat here in the second half. Bailey hands it to Thornton. Jordan Thornton step back jumper is good. 4 points for the senior guard Jordan Thornton. It's the Saints trailing by 14 now. Tyson Smiley, Nick Harden. Harden drives, floats it to the hoop, and draws a foul. Off on the shot, but he's got 2 free throws now. Second foul picked up by Tobias. Harden's not a great free throw shooter, just 69%. He's got 8 points in today's game. And he'll have 2 shots here. First one misses short. 15:01 on the clock. Second shot coming from Harden. One of 2 juniors in the starting lineup. Rattles home the second free throw. 2 juniors, 3 starters for Dakota, 3 seniors starting for Dakota Wesleyan. Very veteran team. We haven't seen much of their reserve class either. Tristan Techmeyer has played the most minutes off the bench. He's a senior as well. Lewis Holy misses underneath, and it's rebounded by Dakota Wesleyan. So the team set up to win this year. So far, so good. They're 7-0, and with a big lead in their 8th game of the season. Hoagland to Colin Kramer, 3-pointer, way off, rebounded by Ting. Eric Ting pushes it up the floor. Stops at the 3-point line, gives it back to Malik Bailey. Deep 3-pointer misses, and the rebound goes to Ty Hoagland. Saints have not shot the ball well in the second half. They've suffered for it. They've been outscored by 4 points so far. Whipped inside for Kramer. Kramer pulls it out. Hoagland over to his left, Tyson Smiley. Smiley gets the screen from Techmeyer. Drives into a double team, picks up his dribble, and now turns around and shoots off the mark. Saints kind of left him alone after they initially had him halted, but they catch a break as he misses on the jumper, and flying down the other way, Malik Bailey gets the layup. Good transition there as the Saints turn a missed shot into 2 points of their own. Trying to find a spark of momentum somewhere. Maybe that'll get them going. Good defensive possession followed by good offense. Tyson Smiley for Dakota Wesleyan on the outside. Half the shot clock is gone. Smiley turns to face the basket, bounces it down low to Harden. Harden loses the handle, gets it back, and scores. Timeout called by Dakota Wesleyan. 54-39, the Tigers lead with 13:22 to play in the second half. It's a full timeout on the floor. And Dakota Wesleyan still has not quite been able to pull away from St. Francis. The Fighting Saints have not really made that run that they've been looking for to get themselves back into the game. But they have not allowed Dakota Wesleyan to do so either. So they've kept up the defense even as their offense has struggled. Dakota Wesleyan entered play today as one of the better offensive teams in the nation, averaging 82 points per contest. They're actually right around track for that today. They got hot shooting the 3-ball early, and that's what allowed them to build their double-digit lead. They've held a double-digit lead for the majority of the game, but they've slowed down somewhat. 3-point shooting has not been what it was since the first several minutes of the game. They've been able to score in a number of different ways, though, to keep that lead up. St. Francis, as I've been saying, is looking for some kind of spark that can get them on a run. If they can go on just a good couple of minutes where they outscore the Tigers by 8 or 10, they'll be right back in it. St. Francis ball out of the break. They trail by 15. It's Joey Bagimi passing it in. Jordan Thornton gives it right back. Now Malik Bailey on the left side. Lob down low. Mitch Quasigro bumped out of the paint. Passed out to Jordan Thornton. Back to Quasigro. Right at the edge of the perimeter. Gives it to Thornton. Thornton rises for 3. Misses on the shot. And it's rebounded by Dakota Wesleyan. Tyson Smiley racing down the floor. Smiley not picked up. Takes it all the way to the rim. And has an easy layup. And a timeout called by Ryan Marks. Not at all happy with his transition defense right there as Tyson Smiley took the ball and never had a defender meet his face at all as he went coast to coast for an easy 2. 56-39, again a big lead for Dakota Wesleyan, their biggest of the game so far now that it's reached 17 points. Last season, St. Francis in their annual post-Thanksgiving Classic fell to Lincoln College on day 2 of the tournament. Lincoln beat them 77-64 after they had won decisively on day 1. So far, similar story today. The Saints won decisively on day 1, but day 2 they haven't been able to get over the hump. Dakota Wesleyan making their first trip out to Joliet in 18 years. The last time these two teams met was 1991, November of 1991. Tigers were victorious on that day, and they're trying to leave this time around with back-to-back wins. I'll reiterate what I said about yesterday's game. It was similar to this in that they had a big lead most of the way, up by 15 points in the first half, and Lincoln went on a run. They challenged them and ended up taking a late lead towards the end of the second half before ultimately Dakota Wesleyan was able to right the ship and win that game by 4. But it was actually a fairly similar contest to the one we've seen today. So St. Francis knows that they're in the same position that Lincoln was in yesterday. Just go on a big run, and get right back in it. I guess that's always true when you're losing. Jordan Thornton holds the ball. Thornton drives, fires inside to Bailey, who lays it in. Good ball work by Thornton and Bailey. Wesleyan basketball. They've not been stopped the last few times down the floor. St. Francis needs a couple of those upcoming. Techmeyer passes outside to Smiley, gives it back to Techmeyer, but it's taken away by Malik Bailey. Bailey does not have numbers, tries to push it anyway, now kicks it out to Thornton, who steps into a 3. No good. Offensive rebound, Malik Bailey. Bailey now tries a 3-pointer. That's good. It's a 5-0 run for Malik Bailey. He's now got 14 points to lead the Fighting Saints, and it's a 12-point ball game. One more stop, one more bucket, and suddenly Matt Wilbur has to start to worry a little bit. Saints starting to seize momentum a little bit thanks to Bailey. Hogland outside. Dakota Wesleyan has outscored St. Francis by a point in the second half without Hogland having scored. He's going to try here as he gives it off to Smiley. 1 on the shot clock. Smiley just gets it off in time, does not get the roll, and now a loose ball foul called on Tristan Techmeyer. The Saints have scored 5 points in a row. Great defensive stand right there as Hogland tried desperately to find a shot for himself. Couldn't get one up. Had to give it to Smiley with 3 on the shot clock. He got off an awkward-looking shot at the buzzer, and then a foul on the loose ball. Gives it right back to St. Francis. That's the 5th foul committed by Dakota Wesleyan. And here are the Saints alive and kicking, down by 12, 11:15 to play. Thornton bounces over to Quasigro. Mitch Quasigro dribbles to the left side. Bounce pass to a cutting. Thornton lays it up. No, but a foul call. A very late whistle. Jordan Thornton got the contact, got the call, and now gets 2 free throws. Second foul on Smiley. Thornton, a very good free throw shooter at the line. And he makes the first. 84% for the season. This to make it a 10-point game. He's got it. 7 in a row for St. Francis. And they're hanging around with 11 minutes to play. Nick Harden guarded by Jordan Thornton, his fellow number 3. Inside Smiley. Smiley has to take it out. Well defended by Tobias, and a foul called on Tobias. A little too well defended towards the end of that play. 3rd foul called on Tobias. McLeod back in. Hogland is back in after a very short rest. And Smiley is the inbounder. McLeod left uncovered on the inbounds play, and he hits a 3. A big defensive gaffe there by St. Francis as nobody covered McLeod, and that snaps the 7-0 run. Dakota Wesleyan is back up by 13. Bailey bounces to the right elbow. Bagini back to Bailey for 3. Good. Malik Bailey answers the 3-pointer from McLeod with one of his own. He's got 17, now leading all scorers. And the deficit is back down to 10. Saints have come up with stops on 3 of their last 4 possessions. Hogland makes it 3 out of 5 as he drives to the hoop and makes the reverse layup. First points for Hogland in about 15 minutes, close to it, of game time. It's a 12-point lead for the Tigers.
10 minutes to go. Here's Bailey. Bailey takes it outside, starts a drive, backs up, gives it to Quasigrow, right back to Malik Bailey. Senior guard Bailey drives to the basket, lays it up, gets the roll and draws the foul. Great drive by Malik Bailey, and that one hung on the rim forever before finally falling. Big cheer from the St. Francis bench, and now Bailey can make it a three-point play. Bailey's got 10 points just in the last 2 minutes of this game. Cole Misick is back in for the Fighting Saints. Carlos Cevallos takes a seat. Bailey's free throw is good. 61-52. St. Francis is within 9. Inside Smiley, easy layup. It's the second time in the last minute St. Francis has left an offensive player completely unaccounted for. And an easy layup for Smiley, 16 points for him. Misick over to Bailey, left wing. Bailey gets a screen, dribbling the left side, down the baseline, back outside. Jordan Thornton fires the three and hits. Saints are heating up from the field. They haven't been getting the stops that they've needed, but they've been trading 2 for 3. And their last 2 possessions, both resulting in 3-point plays, now has brought them within 8. Now a big defensive possession as the ball is thrown out of bounds. Hoagland hit the deck. He was calling for the foul, didn't get it. And so it's a turnover. The pass was going to Hoagland, who fell to the floor. And it's a turnover. Now St. Francis can make it a 5 or 6 point game. Just under 9 minutes to play in what's turning into a more exciting contest than it looked like it might be. Dakota Wesleyan led by 17 here in the second half. Malik Bailey tries a three-pointer. That's off. Rebound knocked around and brought in by Nick Harden. Harden steps back, thought about the shot, passes instead. Here's Hoagland. Hoagland walks it back. 15 on the shot clock, plenty of time to set up the play. Passes into the corner. A drive from Mason Larson, and Larson draws the foul. Larson has seen limited time in today's game. He has not scored, but he'll have a chance right now. He's scored 11 points so far this season. 2 free throws right here. 1 of 2 from the line so far this season. 2 of 3. Foul's on Bailey. It's the first on Malik Bailey, 5th on St. Francis. 8:18 to play in the second half. Two for 2 for Mason Larson. Big 2 free throws. The score is now 65-55. Cole Misick holds it on the left side. Up top Bailey. Jordan Thornton passes to Carlos Cevallos. Now Misick starts to drive, gets into the lane. Good defense, good bounce pass to Bailey, who finds Lewis Holy underneath. Great ball movement. Misick to Bailey to Holy. And the Saints are back within 8. Lewis Holy's got 4 points. Here's Harden on the drive. Harden is fouled. On the floor, it's the 6th foul on St. Francis, so it's the last one that will not result in free throws. Cole Misick's 3rd foul. Dakota Wesleyan basketball from underneath St. Francis's hoop with 20 on the shot clock. Hoagland gets it in to Smiley. Down low for Larson. Blocked by Holy. Larson gets his own rebound, and this time he's fouled by Holy. Holy came up with a clean block the first time around. Larson tried again, and on the second effort, Holy got him on the foul. Larson made 2 of 2 free throws just moments ago. And now another attempt, and he makes his 3rd straight. 66-57. Dakota Wesleyan, 3 points from Larson, all from the free throw line within the last minute. And there's his 4th in a row. He's looked sharp from the line, keeping Dakota Wesleyan ahead. It's a 10-point game. Jordan Thornton walks it to the right side for the Fighting Saints. Thornton bounces to the free throw line. Malik Bailey. Bailey turns towards the hoop, bounces down low for Holy, and is thrown away. Intercepted. Taken by Harden. Harden ahead for Hoagland. Hoagland off the glass, no. And Holy comes away with it. Now Tobias on the run. Outside to Thornton. Thornton cuts inside, kicks to the left. 3-point attempt, Tobias. It's short, and it hits off the shot clock. Good looking setup right there for the Fighting Saints, and a good looking shot out of the hands of Carlos Tobias as well. Just came up a little bit short. That would have been a huge 3 for the Fighting Saints. Instead, they remain down by 10 with 7 minutes left. Larson from the outside hits the 3. Mason Larson all of a sudden has 7 points, and he looks like he can't miss. A guy who had been just 1 of 2 on free throws, 2 of 10 on 3-pointers this year. He's got a smooth stroke. 13-point lead for the Tigers. Here's Malik Bailey. Bailey hands it to Thornton. Thornton's 3, no. And that's rebounded by Colin Kramer. Saints went on their run. Dakota Wesleyan was able to take the punch from the Saints. Now they're starting to fight back as the timeout is called by Dakota Wesleyan. Full timeout. 6 minutes, 26 seconds to play. Second half, it's a 13-point lead for the Tigers. They've been up by as many as 17. Saints cut into that lead. Malik Bailey went on a big run in which he scored 10 points in the span of 2 minutes and cut the 17-point lead down to 8. But now with 5 in a row, Dakota Wesleyan has turned that 8-point game back into a 13-pointer. 18 points for Ty Hoagland. That leads all scorers, or it leads Dakota Wesleyan scorers, I should say. He had 16 in the first half. Didn't score the last couple of minutes of the first. And he's been very quiet here in the second, but Tigers have been able to extend their lead even without any serious contribution from him. 16 points for Tyson Smiley. Nick Harden has chipped in with 11, and out of nowhere, Mason Larson has all of a sudden gotten hot and scored 7 in the last few minutes. St. Francis is led by Malik Bailey. Bailey has got 20 points. Bailey, who was a good scorer for St. Francis last year, had only scored in double figures twice among the team's first 6 ball games this season, but he's got a season high with 20 now. Eric Ting has contributed 11 points, and for Ting, it's the 4th consecutive game that he's been in double figures. Bailey, Mysick, Tobias, Ting, and Holy are on the floor for the Fighting Saints coming out of the timeout. Hoagland, Kramer, Smiley, Harden, and Larson out there for the Tigers. It's Kramer outside, guarded by Bailey. He hands it to Hoagland for 3. No good. Rebounded by Lewis Holy. Holy makes the outlet pass to Ting, and now Ting is on the move. Kicks it out to Mysick. Rhythm 3-pointer. Good. Big 3. Cole Mysick. His first points of the game came in averaging over 12 per contest. And the Saints are back within 10. Tigers are just not being allowed to run away today. Harden bounces down low. Larson blocked from behind by Bailey, but it's a foul. Bailey didn't like the call, thought he got all ball. That's not the way the officials saw it. 2 free throws for Mason Larson. Larson, a sophomore from Langford, South Dakota. Among underclassmen, he's seen the most action. And he's been good this last several minutes. So he's now got a season high 8 points. In fact, Larson had only 11 points in 7 games total coming in. He's got 9. And he is single-handedly keeping St. Francis at arm's length. He scored the last 7 points for Dakota Wesleyan. Got a shot clock problem again here. Shot clock never ran. So they'll have to reset the clock here and then reset the possession. Just under 6 minutes to go. The clock right now shows 5 minutes 49 seconds and 27 on the shot clock. We'll see if they go with that or if the officials timed something else out. Mason Larson hit 2 free throws just moments ago to extend Dakota Wesleyan's lead to 12. St. Francis has really done well these last several minutes, last 7 minutes or so, scoring the basketball. They've gotten going again. And it's been impressive to watch them on this end of the floor, but all of a sudden Dakota Wesleyan has just been able to do whatever they want on the offensive side. And that's allowed them to keep their distance. Cole Mysick set to inbound. The clock resets to 24 on the shot clock, 5:47 game clock. Eric Ting around a screen to his right. Picks it up, passes to Bailey. Now Tobias fires a 3. That's off. Rebounded by Nick Harden. Ahead for Hoagland, and Wesleyan slows it down, up by 12 with 5.5 minutes to go. Harden thought about the 3, gives it up instead. Mason Larson on the right side. Larson gives it to Harden. Harden tries the 3-pointer and falls. Eric Ting just gave him too much space. And Harden makes him pay. He's got 14 points. And Dakota Wesleyan suddenly back up by 15. The lead was only 8 just moments ago. Mysick spins into the lane. He throws it up off the backboard and in. Mysick forced his way to the paint there. Saints needed a bucket. He got it for him. 5 points for the senior guard, Mysick. Now we'll see if the Saints can get that elusive stop. It's been a while. Harden tries another 3. This one misses. Right after he hit the previous 3, Malik Bailey did the same thing, just gave him too much space. But Harden did not make him pay this time around. So the Saints got the stop they were looking for. Now they need points on this end of the floor. Trailing by 13. It's Bailey. Walking to his right. Pushed towards the sideline by Kramer. Now Bailey drives down the center. Bailey layup, no. Rebound out of bounds. Last touch by Dakota. 75-62, 4:08 to play. 20 on the shot clock for St. Francis. Eric Ting is the inbounder. Ting sends it to Cole Mysick. 3-point attempt, air ball. Rebounded on the back end by Kramer. Harden drives on Ting. Puts it up and misses. Bailey rebound, toes the line, stays in, and saves it to Ting, who's immediately fouled by Tyson Smiley. It's the 8th foul on Dakota Wesleyan, so Ting walks down the floor. He'll get a 1-and-1 from the line, and this is the best way that St. Francis can make a comeback. Stop the clock and try to get some points without it moving from the free throw line. Eric Ting is a 73% shooter. It's a 1-and-1. And he makes the front end. Jordan Thornton is in for Carlos Tobias. Eric Ting has one more free throw. He made 1 of 2. Tigers basketball ahead by 12. Smiley pulls up, passes outside. It's Hoagland. Down to 12 on the shot clock. Tigers are outside. Harden backs it up even further. 7 to shoot, dribbles in, kicks it out to Larson. 3-pointer, misses this one, rebounded by Ting. Eric Ting on the run. Poked out of his hands by Harden, gets it right back and passes to Jordan Thornton. Thornton starts to drive, steps back, 3-pointer, good. Jordan Thornton's got 12 points. And the Saints again trail by single digits, 75-66. 3 minutes to go. Hoagland takes up some time. Gets it right back. Out of the right side, Kramer. Good find. Harden, backdoor cut, lays it in. Nick Harden's got 16 points. Huge bucket there for the Tigers. And now the Saints need a response. Bailey drives with the left hand, pulls up, passes outside. Thornton drives with the right hand. He forces up a shot and misses, rebounded by Kramer. And again, the Tigers take this time to slow the game down. Now that they're nursing an 11-point lead with just over 2 minutes to play, they're in good shape. Hoagland passes to Mason Larson. Smiley back to Hoagland on the outside. 6 seconds to shoot. Hoagland drives on Holy, forces it up, draws the foul. Timeout called by St. Francis. 2 minutes even on the clock, 77-66. Ty Hoagland is going to get 2 free throws when we return from this break. Dakota Wesleyan led by 11 at the half, 44-33. They lead by 11 now, 77-66, keeping things symmetrical as the two teams have played to a 33-33 tie in the second half. It was really only one run early in the game that allowed Dakota Wesleyan to pull away to the extent that they have. They hit a couple of three-pointers in a row in the first several minutes. They led 10-2 after a 10-0 run, and they've held the lead pretty much between 8 and 17 ever since, mostly between 8 and 15 ever since. And the Saints, to their credit, have not gone down quietly. Every time it looks like the game is over, they go on a run. They just haven't been able to go on a big run to overcome this deficit and get closer than 8. They've been at 8 points behind several times and haven't been able to get that down to 7. And that's the first step, getting it down to 7. The next step would be overcoming it entirely and trying to pull off the huge comeback victory. But now there's little enough time left in this game that the Saints not only need to score in a hurry, they need to stop pretty much every time down the floor. And they haven't been able to get that. Saints have been scoring the ball well lately, but Wesleyan has pretty much scored at will as well over the last several minutes. And they're in position to score right now. Hoagland, a 90% foul shooter, has 2 attempts coming up. He was bumped by Lewis Holy on the shot attempt. And the first shot is good. It was a bailout foul. Hoagland was out of control as he tried to throw the ball towards the hoop, but he got the contact. Second shot is good as well. 79-66. The ball is rolled into Eric Ting. Thornton bounces to Bailey. Handed right back to Jordan Thornton, who kicks inside, and now out to Bailey. Three-pointer is good. Malik Bailey has been red hot throughout this second half, and he's the one doing the heavy lifting and keeping St. Francis alive in this game. 23 points, a season high for Malik Bailey. And now Dakota Wesleyan, as they've been doing the last minute or two, trying to take the air out of the ball. Run some clock. Hoagland drive stripped, ball loose, picked up by Bailey. Here come the Saints. Bailey leads the charge, passes over to the left side. Jordan Thornton drives the lane. Thornton to the hoop. Runner misses, rebounded by Mason Larson. Big miss right there from St. Francis. Ryan Marks not happy that he didn't get the call. Similar to the play on the other end. It sent Hoagland to the line for 2 shots and a big 2 free throws a couple of moments ago. Inside, Kramer nearly lost the ball. A few fans called for a travel. Didn't have possession of it though. Hoagland steps into a three-pointer, misses it long, rebounded by Bailey. Bailey trying to put some pressure on the Tigers defense, all the way to the basket, lays it in. Timeout called by St. Francis, 48.5 seconds to play. They're not quite dead yet, an 8-point game, 25 now for Malik Bailey. And on a day when a few of his teammates haven't put up their regular numbers, Bailey's contributions have been huge. Cole Mysick, 12.5 point per game scorer, held to just 5 today. Lewis Holy, who had scored in double figures entering this weekend exhibition in 4 out of 5 games played this year, has just 8 points total over the course of Saturday and Sunday. He's got 4 today. His rebounding numbers weren't there yesterday either. He's picked that number up this afternoon, but hasn't had too many opportunities inside. This has primarily been a perimeter game for St. Francis. Not a lot of getting the ball to the big man down low. And Malik Bailey and Jordan Thornton have both been shooting the ball well. Carlos Tobias had a good stretch earlier in the game, as did Eric Ting. Lately it's been mostly Bailey. Saints will need a quick steal here. And I would guess if they don't get it, they might already be in a position to start fouling. There are still over 48 seconds left. But if you let Dakota Wesleyan run the entire shot clock on this possession, best case scenario, you get the ball back down by 8 with under 20 seconds left. So the Saints need whatever the resolution is on this possession to happen quickly. Ball is inbounded to Hoagland, who's immediately trapped. Hoagland throws it up for Kramer, and they get it across half court to Harden. Harden bounces down low, gets it right back, and he draws the foul. Going up for 2 shots, and not the worst thing there. Again, after they didn't get the steal, they were almost in a position where they had to foul, and it wasn't necessarily the foul they were looking for, but it does stop the clock at 39.8 and send Harden to the line. First free throw from Nick Harden is good, 80-71. If he makes the second one, it would make it a 4-score game. He misses it, so it's still 3 possessions as Malik Bailey comes down with the rebound and gets it ahead to Eric Ting. Saints have to work quickly here. Tobias bounces to Bailey. Bailey right back to Tobias, step back 3. That misses short, rebounded by Dakota Wesleyan. The ball loose on the floor, and Kramer comes away with it. Ahead for Hoagland. The shot clock is off, and it looks like the Saints are going to let the clock run out. They fought hard in this one, but an early run for Dakota Wesleyan allowed them to pull away, and it gives the Tigers the lead. 80-71 is our final score as the Saints walk off towards their bench. Ty Hoagland holds onto it for a few more seconds. There's the buzzer, and this one comes to a close. Dakota Wesleyan, the number 6 team in the country, remains unbeaten as they take out St. Francis 80-71 and improve to 8-0 on the season. Saints fought hard in the second half, just didn't quite have enough to get over the hump. Malik Bailey had his best game of the year, and maybe this is the game that gets him going down the line. Last year, one of the big scorers for St. Francis, he had been held to only 7 points per game entering this weekend, but he's had 2 good games over the last 2 days now. Bailey scored 25 today to augment his 14-point performance from an evening ago. And if they can get him going on a more consistent basis to add to the contributions they've gotten from Jordan Thornton, Cole Mysick, Lewis Holy, Eric Ting, and several others on the ball club, the Saints certainly can make a run in the CCAC, and that's where they're headed next. Conference play returns in earnest coming up after this one. Back to this game for a moment. 80-71, the final score in favor of Dakota Wesleyan. Their leading scorer was Ty Hoagland, 3rd leading scorer in the country coming in, averaging 26 points per game. He was held to 20 today, 16 of them in the first half, but he went quiet after the first few minutes of the first half. He did not score for close to 15 minutes of game action, ended up with only 4 points in the second half, and that is part of the reason the Saints were able to make that run and hang in there in the second half. But he does finish with a game high 20, 17 points for Nick Harden and 16 for Tyson Smiley. With the victory now, Dakota Wesleyan is 8-0. St. Francis falls to 4-3. Fun weekend here at the USF Classic, and it continues in just a few moments. One more game still to come. East-West University takes on Lincoln College in the final game of this weekend. And they'll battle out after both teams losing yesterday to try to come out with at least one victory for the weekend. As for St. Francis, they take a break and return to conference play later this week. Their next home game is not until a week from Thursday, December 12th, and we'll have that broadcast for you here at 7 o'clock. That's against Lewis University on Thursday, December 12th. That's the next time I'll be with you for St. Francis basketball. So I'll take my leave right now. 80-71, our final score. Dakota Wesleyan on top of the Fighting Saints. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off. Good night, all.